giving you the chance to get top trade ideas.
Hey, welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Sorry, I was fixing the Twitter feed. And we'll be off and running here momentarily with a little lesson in journalism for the idiots at the Columbus Dispatch and USA Today who clearly don't know how to do it. We've already known that for years and years and years. Today, just the latest demonstration. Hang with us, and I'll inform you, and we'll have some fun. Thanks a lot. Welcome in, Wednesday edition, Bruce Hooley Show, Republican National Convention in process. Tonight, J.D. Vance, the pick of Donald Trump to be his vice presidential candidate and accompany him on the Republican ticket in the fall, will introduce himself to the nation. We know J.D. Vance well here in the state of Ohio, even though he's been a senator for only 2 years. The Columbus Dispatch today writes about J.D. Vance, and they clearly are not happy that he is Donald Trump's pick for vice president. And the lengths to which they go to demonstrate how unhappy they are with J.D. Vance as vice president will become very clear as I assess an array of stories that they have written about J.D. Vance. But first, we have to get to the news, which is an intersection of incompetence on the part of the press, crime in the United States of America, the Republican National Convention, and the city of Columbus and its police officers. So what happened yesterday afternoon in Milwaukee is that a homeless man, which I know is extremely politically incorrect because he's not homeless, he is unhoused, was spotted by 5 Columbus police officers, yes, and Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention within a mile of convention headquarters at Fiserv Forum. Columbus police are in Milwaukee. About 40 Columbus police officers are there, providing help to Milwaukee police because security is going to be tight at the Republican National Convention, just like it will be in Chicago. And the 5 Columbus police officers are, as I said, about a mile away from the park, and they see a guy with a knife threatening another man. In fact, the guy doing the threatening had 2 knives, one in each hand. So Columbus police do what they're trained to do. They run toward him. They were about 50 yards away. And they tell him to drop the knives. He doesn't. He lunges at the guy he's having the argument, confrontation with. And so the Columbus police officers, 5 of them, fire their weapons. They weren't close enough to use a stun gun. They couldn't have used a stun gun from that distance. They fire their weapons because someone's life is in danger, and this is what police officers are trained to do. The man with the knives is killed. The other man is safe. Here we go with the coverage, which will clearly and concisely explain why I have said to you before that I'm ashamed of the profession that I joined 40 years ago, journalism, because it is not journalism anymore, it is activism. And why that is true, not just of the Columbus Dispatch, which I've demonstrated time and time and time and time again over the years, is a woke cesspool on whose grave I will dance joyously when it inevitably and finally goes bankrupt. Sorry, friends of mine who work there. There are a few. I feel bad for a couple of guys there who I know because I hate to advocate for the end of their income. But I've been through it with operations that I've been a part of that folded, and believe me, you'll get through it and you'll be better off once this place that you're hanging onto with white knuckles trying to draw a paycheck from goes under. Let's first give you John Dietrich's, well, this is not a Columbus Dispatch reporter. This is a Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reporter, which I got to say, his coverage is pretty even. He says, police officers from Columbus, Ohio fatally shot an armed man in Milwaukee on Tuesday afternoon. The officers were in Milwaukee for the RNC and were in a park just west of downtown where the convention is held. A vigil was held last night in Milwaukee for a man known by the nickname Jehovah and identified as Samuel Sharp Jr. by his first cousin. Body cam footage showed Columbus police officers spotting the man armed with 2 knives moving toward another man. The man who was shot did not comply with officers' orders to drop the knives. John Dietrich, ladies and gentlemen, one of the last real reporters in journalism. But now let's go to this utter compilation of nonsense that took, and I'm not kidding, 10 people to write for the USA Today account. I know some contributed, one penned it, but they have 10 different bylines on this story. You want to know why people love Donald Trump? You want to know why people hate the media and distrust the media? And you might say, yeah, because Donald Trump tells them to. No, because anyone who reads this story in a national newspaper, USA Today, can read it and in the first 7 words tell you that this is not going to be a down-the-middle news report like John Dietrich of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel wrote about the death of this knife-wielding man. It is going to be, in USA Today, like a 10-page printed-out screed against the evils of police. And backseat driving, how police respond in a highly contentious, dangerous situation with people who've never trained in law enforcement, never faced any kind of a threat, never put their own safety on the line to help someone else or deliver someone else from danger, telling police who have done all of that how they should have acted. Here are the first 7 words of the story. They called him Jehovah, an unhoused man, ... There you go. That's all I needed to read. They called him Jehovah. Well, you know what? He's not Jehovah. He's a nutcase. He's not unhoused. He's homeless. And while that is sad, it does not give him the right to put a knife in each hand and threaten someone else's life. These are luxury beliefs that USA Today holds, that other elitists hold, that Democratic voters hold. Luxury beliefs. You know what luxury beliefs are? They are beliefs that they can afford to hold that you cannot. Because you live in a real place where people like Jehovah, the knife-wielding guy, are threats to you as you walk to your downtown office or as you walk through a parking garage at night. And some person who's homeless and desperate and psycho and crazy comes at you and you don't dare fight back. Because then we will get the rest of the second paragraph of this USA Today story. An unhoused man who one acquaintance described as a beautiful person. He lived in one of Milwaukee's tent encampments and was well known by people in the neighborhood around King Park. They would often see him walking his dog and carrying a Bible. Great. Fantastic. I hope he had a nice dog and I hope he read his Bible. I just question why he's putting a knife in each one of his hands and trying to kill someone else and thus has to be shot by Columbus police. In the 5th sentence of the story, which should be higher, is an admission by USA Today that body cam video released by authorities show he was brandishing a knife. Actually, 2 knives. Ooh, that's a salient fact we just decided we would diminish and lower in the story so you didn't read it. And then the 3rd paragraph is beautiful. Just beautiful. Because we're keeping with the theme that this is Jehovah and he's harmless and he's carrying a Bible and he's walking his dog. And he's like, got the key to the city, apparently. Authorities said the fatal shooting in Milwaukee is unrelated to the convention, but for some residents of the neighborhood, favorite journalism tactic, find 2 nutcases who agree with your premise and cite them as an authority. Some say, how many say? How many? Who are they? What are their credentials? Are they law enforcement people? Do they know about disengaging a hostile situation? Do they know about neutralizing a situation like that? But they're some residents of the neighborhood. It raises questions. Oh, yes, we're always raising questions, aren't we? It raises questions about the decision to bring out-of-state police officers into the city to help provide policing for the event. So let's see. It raises questions. You know what the question raised in Bruce Hooley's mind was? When I see that out-of-city police officers from Columbus, Ohio, not Milwaukee officers, shot this guy. Do you know what question? Can you imagine what crazy question came to Bruce Hooley's mind about why, oh, why would Columbus police officers be in Milwaukee? That's right. You guessed it. Is the Milwaukee police force understaffed? Oh, gee, how would I find out information like that? I know. I have this unique, ingenious method of finding answers to such questions. It is called Google. Maybe they haven't heard of it at USA Today. And I typed into Google, Milwaukee faces shortage of police. So there must be headlines like that or nothing would come up. But you know what? A bunch of stuff came up. And all of it is about how Milwaukee police have been declining. 16% of the force is down. Milwaukee's on par to lose tens of millions of dollars if it can't get its police force back up. Milwaukee police staffing at critical shortage. More than 300 Wisconsin officers have been fired by Milwaukee police, and now Milwaukee is begging them to come back to work because, gee, who wouldn't want to go back to work where they've been fired because they were unkind to guys named Jehovah carrying 2 knives and a Bible while walking his dog and trying to murder someone else?
Clouds and breaks of sun, humid thunderstorm around this afternoon. Our high today at 83, becoming partly cloudy tonight and the low 62. Partly sunny, less humid. Nice day tomorrow, the high at 78. Mostly sunny, terrific day on Friday. The high Friday 79, and then sunny Saturday with a high at 85. Clouds and sun, nice day for Sunday. High Sunday afternoon, 84. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Seth Kohlhaas brings hope and insight as he fights against socialism and communism on the Man in America podcast, now available on the Salem Podcast Network.
The role of the digital world in shaping our perception of the real world cannot be overlooked. It seems like all of these mechanisms are dividing us in endless ways.
Subscribe to Man in America today on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights on current events in a way that I believe you'll really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Illegal migrants are pouring into our country and getting free government handouts that we pay for. Senator Sherrod Brown voted for President Biden's plan to give illegals our tax dollars, including COVID checks. Brown even voted to give them Social Security benefits for work done illegally and free health care to illegals granted amnesty. Senator Brown voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous, illegal immigrant criminals onto our streets. And Brown voted to give amnesty to over 11 million illegals, including those convicted of aggravated assault, drunk driving, and child abuse. Call Senator Sherrod Brown at 216-522-7272 and tell him to support S3578, the Protect Medicaid Act, and start voting against illegal immigrants and for Ohio families. Ohio needs cheaper gas, food, and housing, not handouts to illegals who don't play by the rules. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions, and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM The Answer. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
America, it's time to align your money with your American values and stop giving it to companies that partner with the woke movement. Let your patriotic values guide how you invest your money and save for your future. With Monorail's Patriot Portfolio, you can grow your wealth and save for retirement knowing that you're investing in companies that align with biblical and conservative values. Right now, for a limited time, get a $50 sign-up bonus when you deposit as little as $13 with Monorail Stars and Stripes Rewards program. The more you deposit, the more you earn. Guaranteed 1% sign-up bonus on any deposit amount. Refer a friend and receive an additional $20. Friends, Monorail's Patriot Portfolio is exactly what Christians and conservatives have been waiting for. No more giving money to companies that don't support what we believe. With Monorail, you'll have peace of mind knowing that you are helping to create a better America. Open an account today at monorail.com/Kirk. That's monorail.com/Kirk.
Looking forward to my appointment this afternoon to help a gentleman who reached out to me the other day via brucehooley.com, clicking the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner of the page. We're going to look at outfitting the lower level of his home with luxurious vinyl plank flooring. If you don't know what that is, well, I can tell you it is a product that looks exactly like hardwood or tile, and it is more durable. You say, wow, come on, ceramic tile, hardwood, pretty durable. No, you've tried to move your refrigerator across hardwood lately. Ooh, watch out. Don't scratch it. Very possible. Not with luxury vinyl plank flooring. And that's why they send a wire brush to our store with the display. So if you have need for vinyl plank flooring that looks like wood, looks like tile, or beautiful new carpet, shout out to Sandy. I was at her beautiful condominium yesterday, and we're going to get her hooked up with beautiful carpet. Then go to brucehooley.com and click flooring in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll be my pleasure to serve you. brucehooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner of the page. So I am a Twitter premium member now, which means I get to type as much as I want to on Twitter. So no more threads. You won't have to click 6, 7 different related thoughts. You can just open a tweet and all my thoughts will be there. And one of my thoughts today, the first thought that I had when I came into the office today was I saw the headline in the Dispatch, also in USA Today, also on Yahoo Online. Who is J.D. Vance? Ohioans have some not so pretty things to say about Trump's VP pick. Oh, I was like, wait a second. Like, of course there are Ohioans who have some not so pretty things to say about J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance is a politician, and to my knowledge, no politician gets 100% of the vote. But I also was like bothered by one fact. Isn't J.D. Vance like an elected senator of the state of Ohio in the United States Senate? Yes, he is. Didn't he get 55% of the vote against Tim Ryan, who was a career politician and well-funded, when J.D. Vance was not as well-funded as Tim Ryan and was a political newcomer? Yes, and yes. So I'm like, somebody in Ohio must like J.D. Vance. But that does not come through in a story, as I said, that I saw in USA Today, Columbus Dispatch, and Yahoo.com, which is why I have deemed it fair to call out as a fool a young lady, oh boy, here come the misogynistic shouts, named Riley Crabtree of the Columbus Dispatch. Now, here's the thing I will say about Riley Crabtree. She's young. She's apparently, according to her LinkedIn page, yes, I can do research, an intern at the Dispatch. So she got handed the short straw of, oh, Vance is the VP choice. Why don't you see what people have said about J.D. Vance? Why don't you get us a cross-section of opinions about J.D. Vance? And so Riley Crabtree, either directed by some idiot above her, and I wouldn't doubt it because Amelia Robinson runs the editorial page at the Columbus Dispatch, or some other editor at the Dispatch, they don't want her to tell you anything good about J.D. Vance because, of course, in their minds, there is nothing good about J.D. Vance. They want Riley Crabtree to be the person who stands in front of a woke assault on J.D. Vance. And so Riley Crabtree produced it. She'll probably get kudos from her bosses at the Dispatch. What she will get from me is the brutal truth that she is part of a movement that is digging its own grave for its profession. And on those graves, I will dance a celebration when they go under and go bankrupt. It is inevitable because any business, and journalism is a business, that purposefully cannibalizes itself from appealing to 50% of its audience is a business that is doomed to fail. The Dispatch is failing. USA Today is failing. The Plain Dealer, where I worked for 18 years, is failing. Newspapers are failing all across the country, and I do not have one shred of sympathy for them because they have done it to themselves, and they have doubled down on doing it to themselves. And Riley Crabtree has, like the unhoused Jehovah Bible-carrying, dog-walking, knife-wielding assailant in Milwaukee, done it to herself. So good luck joining a profession that is doomed to failure, Riley Crabtree. You're perfectly suited for it. Can you guess where she went to gather opinions on J.D. Vance? You or I would say, like, okay, what do they say about Vance? This guy's a big backer. Bernie Moreno likes him. Donald Trump likes him. This senator likes him. Mike DeWine's a little cool on him. Blah, 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 blah. No. There's no quote from Trump. There's no quote from Bernie Moreno. There's no quote from Mike DeWine. No quote from Frank LaRose, Matt Dolan, anybody who's like lost to J.D. Vance, Jane Timken, Mike Gibbons, people who ran against him, Josh Mandel. Any quotes from them? No. She went to... You're going to love this. She went to the unfair and unbalanced, to make a pun on the Brett Baer tagline on Special Report. She went to the unfair and unbalanced Columbus Dispatch editorial pages to get a cross-section of opinion about J.D. Vance. Oh, that's a great idea if you want to make sure that you expose yourself only to people who hate J.D. Vance. And that is what she found. She got a Dayton professor who says that J.D. Vance might cost Donald Trump votes. Yeah, he might. You don't know. You don't have any way of knowing. He hasn't even given his convention speech yet. Maybe he'll knock it out of the park tonight and people will love J.D. Vance. Maybe the veterans, 800,000 in Pennsylvania, hundreds of thousands of others across the United States will actually like a guy being a heartbeat away from the presidency who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. But you know already, Mr. Dayton professor, that J.D. Vance might cost Donald Trump votes. Way to go out on a limb, champ. And then she quotes Jonathan Pachukowski. I can't even say his name. His name's not important because he was a former legislative director to U.S. Senator Rob Portman. You couldn't get Rob Portman on the phone. At least he was a senator. Rob Portman, who is as unlike J.D. Vance as any Republican senator could be. You're shocked, Riley Crabtree, that a guy who likes Rob Portman and works with Rob Portman would not be the biggest J.D. Vance fan in the world? Maybe you lack the subtle nuances of understanding that there are different political viewpoints within certain parties, but I don't lack that. And so I see right through your transparent attempt to smear J.D. Vance. And she goes on with a couple other woke think tank nut jobs who say exactly what she wants them to say. And then she gets to the real authorities. The real authorities are the people who write letters to the editor at the Columbus Dispatch. Those are your average, ordinary citizens out there, like Margot Bartlett of Delaware. And she says, J.D. Vance's definition of stable families is ominous. Ominous, Margot. A happily married home with two parents who love their children and don't let people cut their genitals off? Doesn't seem ominous to me, only to you. Joe Tilley of Columbus. He's hoping that Trump picked J.D. Vance, so I guess he confounds Riley Crabtree's view because he says, then Ohio could get rid of the lying, bootlicking, butt-kissing, weak-willed, integrity-lacking, sickening, obsequious sycophant. Hey, Joe, show me your military career, please. Show me the success you've had in business. William Cotton of Blacklick gets in on the beatdown. So does Toba Feldman of Columbus. You have to be a moron, Riley Crabtree, to think that the editorial pages of the Dispatch, where conservative opinions are purposefully not allowed, as a source of where you will find a representative view of J.D. Vance. He wound up in the Senate somehow.
With SRN News, Amit Thomas. Homeland Security's Inspector General will investigate the Secret Service's failure to protect former President Trump and those in his audience in Butler, Pennsylvania, from a would-be assassin. Make America Strong Again, that's the theme today at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Former Trump advisor Peter Navarro has been released from a federal prison today. It served 4 months for refusing to honor a congressional subpoena. Stifling heat continuing to grip large parts of the country from east to west. But heat isn't the only form of severe weather. Water rescues in Arkansas after a new wave of powerful storms battered a vast swath of the U.S. and Canada as well. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 143 points, but the NASDAQ sharply lower. It's down 424 points for a loss of well over 2%. More details, srnnews.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center may not be a bit...
Because truth is not a left-wing value, and the left lies as easy as you breathe. You need the clarity and wisdom of Dennis Prager every weekday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Are you under the impression that a metal roof costs 2 or 3 times more than a shingle roof? No, it doesn't. Hi, folks. I'm Dan Tolan, owner of The Metal Roof Company. As your foremost metal roofing authority in Central Ohio, I can promise you it's the most inexpensive roof you'll ever buy because it's the last roof you'll ever buy. With lifetime warranties and a variety of financing options, give us a call at 721-ROOF, 721-ROOF, or reach out to us on the web at themetalroofcompany.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center may not be available in all states.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app, 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Well, I have a couple calls this evening about patriotswitch.com. Thanks to those of you who have gone to brucehooley.com or just gone directly to patriotswitch.com/Bruce Hooley, because I'm going to tell you about a place that manufactures its own products, things you're already buying like mouthwash and toothpaste and cleaning products and vitamins and supplements and pretty much anything that's in your laundry room or your under-the-counter kitchen cleaning area or your bathroom or anything you take for your personal nutrition, like vitamins, supplements, nutrition bars, things like that, drink mixes. The manufacturer is the store. That's what you should remember right off the top. You shop online, they ship it to your door. You save money and you spare yourself woke capitalist imprisonment in a system where your money is then given to causes you don't support. If that's something you'd like to be a part of, it's like something you'd just like to hear more about and find out how it works, go to patriotswitch.com/Bruce, patriotswitch.com/Bruce. So JD Vance will speak tonight at the Republican National Convention. I can't wait to hear it. JD is a very eloquent speaker. He's a fantastic debater. He will do very well. That's a charitable portrayal of what he will do to Kamala Harris if the two actually debate. Although Dana Perino has an interesting viewpoint on J.D. Vance debating Kamala Harris in mid-August. She says, I wouldn't do it because Kamala Harris may not be the vice presidential nominee on the ticket in November. Democrats are still trying to get Joe Biden off the ticket. If you want to know why, all you had to do was listen yesterday to Joe Biden in Nevada at the NAACP convention. He was shouting, he was lying, and he was, making you intoxicated if you play the Joe Biden drinking game that causes you to take a drink every time he starts a thought and then cannot complete it.
I know you say, Joe, you may not have a Congress. Well, guess what? Y'all told me I couldn't pass the Inflation Reduction Act. Y'all told me I couldn't face it anyway.
Anyway, I have a collection of anyways. I have 3 others I could play for you. But we'll just move instead back to J.D. Vance because he's a much more interesting topic and he's much more relevant to us here in Ohio. Now, the Republicans hate J.D. Vance, which, they hate him, I love him. And one of the reasons why they hate him, according to Cy Neff of USA Today, which is clearly, if you gather from the first segment of the show, doing, like Democrats do, everything they can to ruin J.D. Vance, to smear him, and to unveil a campaign that will somehow lower him enough that Kamala Harris could appear a half an inch taller, which good luck with all of that. With a guy who overcame extreme poverty, drug addiction in his home, no parents in his life. Man, I heard a story last night in the interview Megyn Kelly did with J.D. Vance in 2015 or 16 when Hillbilly Elegy, J.D.'s book, came out. J.D. writes about as a 12-year-old boy, his mother used to abuse him, physically abuse him. And they made up, and then she put J.D. in the car and started driving and said, I'm going to intentionally crash the car and kill us both. And J.D., while she was speeding in the car, jumped out of the car, went to another house, told police officers they stopped the mom before she could do that. And he teared up even as an adult talking about it. That's the kind of upbringing J.D. Vance had. So good luck, Democrats, disparaging this guy who has not just lived, because you don't just live the American dream. You make the American dream happen. You make the American dream happen. America makes dreams available to you, but you have to make them happen. This guy has made them happen. Loves his wife, loves his kids, stable family. He's built the life that he didn't have. He's built the life he didn't have. But they hate J.D. Vance. And one of the reasons why they hate him, according to this Cy Neff story in USA Today, is because prominent LGBTQ advocacy groups say J.D. Vance supports items that are detrimental to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community. Like I say, if you hate him, I love him. J.D. Vance, what has he done that is so awful? He has opposed he has opposed the United States allowing X gender markers on U.S. passports. So it used to be like male, female. Now you can be X, according to our government. J.D. Vance opposes that. He also opposes sexual mutilation surgeries. He says, under no circumstances should doctors be allowed to perform these gruesome, irreversible operations on underage children. Again, the reason you hate him is the reason I love him. They oppose J.D. Vance because he has called some LGBTQ people groomers. His response, I'll stop calling people groomers when they stop freaking out about bills that prevent the sexualization of my children. Again, you hate him, and the reason you hate him is the reason I love him. They also hate Bernie Moreno. Bernie spoke last night at the Republican National Convention. He is running for the U.S. Senate against career politician, never held a job outside politics, Sherrod Brown, which of course makes sense because Sherrod Brown, like Joe Biden, has never had a real job. Sherrod Brown has voted for Joe Biden's policies 98.9% of the time. Here's a portion of Bernie Moreno's speech last night at the Republican National Convention.
Many years ago, my parents brought me and my siblings to America legally. They left Colombia because they wanted their children to live in a country where they could achieve anything. I will forever be grateful to them. I love America, and I've lived the American dream. I married my best friend, raised a family, built successful businesses, and created thousands of jobs for hardworking Americans. But the American dream that I lived is under attack from Joe Biden and his enablers in the Senate like Sherrod Brown. They have encouraged millions of illegals to invade America. And Joe Biden's border czar, Kamala Harris, and the Democrat Senate have put the welfare of illegals ahead of our own citizens. They've destroyed our border. They destroyed our economy. They've destroyed our standing in the world. And they'll destroy America if we don't stop them. In November, we will fire Biden and Harris, and we will re-elect President Donald J. Trump.
So, of course, Bernie Moreno is hated by the left. And they love to dredge up things he has said in the past, just like they are going to continue to dredge up things that J.D. Vance has said in the past about Donald Trump. Now, this is because Bernie Moreno and J.D. Vance have done something that Democrats are incapable of doing. Bernie Moreno and J.D. Vance have evolved based upon new data, new information, new clarity on how the world around them has developed since they made their original statements that Democrats now act as if, well, you said this before, so you're not allowed to change your opinion. No, that's how you live. That's not how we live. In her hit piece on Bernie Moreno 2 days ago in the Dispatch and other newspapers owned by USA Today in Ohio, Haley B. Miller was just awful. Cites a 2020 podcast interview in which Bernie Moreno says, I'm not built to be an elected official. And then he later talked about, on the topic of guns, why would anybody need a 100-round magazine in a gun? He says, I'm not going to take your gun away, but do you really need 100 bullets at one time? I mean, do you have that kind of attention deficit disorder? And by the way, are you going to eat a deer that has 100 bullets in it? So what has made Bernie Moreno change his opinion on this? Well, the fact that crime proliferates in our streets and the fact that immigration now is unchecked at the southern border. He calls what he used to see as an illegal immigration problem now an illegal immigration invasion. That is true. We have watched it play out. We have seen it play out in horrific circumstances. So Bernie Moreno's changed his opinion on Trump. And J.D. Vance has changed his opinion on Trump because Bernie Moreno and J.D. Vance are capable of saying 3 words that no Democrat is capable of saying strung together all at once. And those 3 words are, I was wrong. No Democrat can say that. I was wrong. They also can't say conservatives were right. There are 2 sentences Democrats can't say. I was wrong. Conservatives were right. I was wrong on gas prices. I was wrong on the border. I was wrong on international stability coming through United States strength in the military. I was wrong. They can't say it. They won't say it. They never will say it. They can't admit it. Conservatives were right. It's a bad idea to drain the strategic petroleum reserves. Conservatives were right. Kids whose brains aren't developed until they're 25 years old shouldn't be making decisions that permanently alters their body's biology. Conservatives were right. I love what Mark Robinson, the North Carolina governor, said. They say we're on the right. You know why they say we're on the right? Because we are right. He's right about that. We're right on the issues. They're wrong on the issues. They're out of step with the American people. But never underestimate them because there's 4 months left. And I told you after the debate, there's nothing they wouldn't do to stop Donald Trump.
And breaks of sun, humid thunderstorm around this afternoon. Our high today at 83. Becoming partly cloudy tonight and the low 62. Partly sunny, less humid. Nice day tomorrow. The high at 78. Mostly sunny, terrific day on Friday. High Friday 79. And then sunny Saturday with a high at 85. Clouds and sun, nice day for Sunday. High Sunday afternoon 84. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out hard-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley, hoping you will join me on July the 20th in Hilliard at the church next door for our Take a Stand, Be a Godly Man event. You can get tickets at 989theanswer.com. We have an abundance of bad leadership in our world today, and we need men to step up. Find out how to do that from a godly perspective. Our speakers include Doyle Jackson, pastor at the church next door, Tom Ryan, OSU wrestling coach Bob Burney of 880 AM, The Answer, myself, and former Ohio State running back Master T. Join us July the 20th, church next door in Hilliard. Get your tickets at 989theanswer.com.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet for any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
War has played a key role in the history of the United States, from the nation's founding right down to the present. Wars made the United States independent, kept it together, increased its size, and established it as a global superpower. Hi, I'm James Early, host of the Key Battles of American History podcast. In each episode, I discuss American history through the lens of the most important battles of America's wars. To start listening now, go to parthenonpodcast.com or search Key Battles of American History on your favorite podcasting platform.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors, co-workers, and friends. We are your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters. We are the people you see in your community every day. While we serve part-time, we're learning valuable life and job skills that we can use in our civilian careers. We get up to 100% of our tuition paid for at state colleges, so we can have an even better future. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. Through every storm, every flood, every emergency that hits home here in Ohio, we are ready to respond and help our fellow Ohioans recover. We are every city, every small town, and every community. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
MyPillow.com products are on sale right now, and if you are looking for a fantastic pillow, well, you can stop looking after you get to MyPillow.com because Mike Lindell is making available to you queen-size MyPillows right now for $25. That's a crazy savings. It's more than 66% off. So you should get more than one. Don't you have a child going to college? Maybe going to a wedding this weekend? It's wedding season. Christmas? It's closer than further away. I mean, you know, we are in the 7th month of the year, so Christmas will be here, not before you know it, but it'll eventually be here. And if you wait, I don't know how long the sale is going to last on MyPillows, but why would you wait? Just go to the MyPillow site right now, MyPillow.com. While you're there, browse their specials on towel sets, on slippers, on slides, on Giza Dream sheets. $59.98 for a queen size set. Wow, that would really be a great wedding present. Giza Dream Sheets and a MyPillow. Make it happen at mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce. The state of Ohio will be presenting its case today in Franklin County Common Pleas Court. It's not going to do any good because Judge Michael Holbrook is a partisan. He is a zealot. He is unhinged. He is unfit to be a judge. But the state of Ohio is presenting its case today on the matter of whether or not a duly passed law that would outlaw transgender surgeries on minors in the state of Ohio and would outlaw boys playing girls sports in the state of Ohio. This is the law that was passed thanks to the hard work of Jenna Powell, Gary Click, and others in the Ohio General Assembly, and then was vetoed by Mike DeWine. And then DeWine was slapped down with an override of his veto. So this is a law, it was set to go into effect. The American Civil Liberties Union intervened, filed a lawsuit, and Michael Holbrook, a power-hungry, incompetent, lunatic Franklin County Common Pleas Court judge, intervened and stayed the law, just like Hamilton County Common Pleas Court Judge Christian Jenkins stayed the heartbeat bill in the state of Ohio, which was another duly enacted law. These county judges who think their power extends beyond the boundaries of their county should be driven from the judicial profession. And Michael Holbrook, as you well know, if you listen to this show, should be driven from the judicial profession because of his insane ruling that got Brooke DeVinny murdered, as well as her unborn child. He's the idiot who let Brooke DeVinny's abuser out on the street on his own recognizance so he could once again threaten and beat Brooke DeVinny to death. So for the past 2 days, a couple families who have the very difficult road to walk, and I don't undervalue this, and I, really feel for families who have children who are trapped in this gender dysphoria, and we owe these families so much more than abiding them in this mental illness. I don't doubt that the parents love their children. I don't doubt that the parents are desperate to find whatever comfort they can find for a child who is confused about whether they're a boy or a girl, but that is not changeable. Biologically, it is not changeable surgically. You cannot change the DNA that God put into you. And I'm blessed that my daughters all treasure and prize their purity and their femininity. They have a fantastic mom who sets an amazing example for them. And I, in years past, would not have even given that a thought because that's just how things are supposed to happen. But it's not how things always happen because we have so many forces at work in our world right now. Cell phones, it's a great thing that schools in the state of Ohio are trying to ban cell phones. If I had one parental decision that I've been a part of that I would redo, it is related to cell phones. I'll just say that without disclosing too much personal information. It is related to cell phones because, when you and I went to school, we all had difficulties at school. We've all been bullied at school. We've all gone through things at school. We don't bring that person, or we didn't bring that person home with us at night. Our kids bring that person home with them at night because our kids don't have. Before you blame your kids for this, think about how many times a day you reach for your phone. You're sitting, you're talking to somebody, and you just have this inexplicable nature to pick your phone up and look at it. Do I have a text? Do I have an email? Do I have a notification? You're not really expecting one. You're just it's just a magnet there, and you're inexplicably drawn to it. So I don't blame the kids, but we have big tech influences, and then we have societal influences, and these are the ones that I feel like I can stop, and these are the ones that I try to stop, and we'll never stop trying to stop. And these societal influences are people like Maria Bruno at, what's her woke organization? Equality Ohio. You can always tell the name gives away what they are not. Michael Holbrook, George Leach, another Franklin County Common Pleas Court judge who shouldn't have a job. Mr. Gay Hero of the Day email to the entire Franklin County Courthouse. Did you see the Franklin County Commissioners donated a $50,000 grant to Stonewall Columbus? That's your tax dollars, by the way. That's your tax dollars. $50,000 to Stonewall Columbus. That's a political organization, okay? The LGBTQ movement is a political movement. What do you think your chances would be? Why don't you try it, Greater Columbus Right to Life? Walk into the Franklin County Commissioners meeting and ask them, hey, you know, I see you donated $50,000 to Stonewall Columbus. We'd like to have $50,000 to protect unborn life in the city of Columbus. They'd laugh you out of the building. They'd laugh you out of the building. Why does one political movement get 50 grand and another one doesn't? You know why? Because the commissioners want to buy votes by giving $50,000 to Stonewall Columbus, so Stonewall Columbus will not blackmail them at election time and say, oh, these guys don't support gay people in the city of Columbus. You can turn down a grant request without being unsupportive of the people who make the request. You can just say, I'm sorry, you're a political movement. And if we start giving money out to political movements, then we're going to have an unending stream of people out the door. But no, they don't have the strength of character and the will to say that. So, of course, Daryl Rowland, Columbus Dispatch, avowed wacko, writes this story today on the WSYX6 website, just overflowing with emotion, because it's all about feelings. It's never about facts. It's never about the statistics. I don't even need to go to the Bible to tell you about the dysfunction, the damage of a child being immersed in gender dysphoria and acting on it with puberty blockers or acting on it with transgender surgeries. I can cite depression numbers. I can cite suicide numbers. And no, none of us are buying the fact that the suicide number is 40% higher because, well, you just don't accept people. You make them feel bad about themselves. No, no, and no. So, Holbrook, I have no chance. This guy rules the right way on this. Now, do not forget, Monday, 4 to 10 p.m., Loose Rail Brewing Company, 37 West Waterloo in Canal Winchester, your chance to donate to the trust fund for the 6-year-old boy who lost his mother, Alexa Stakely, when she was trying to protect him from the car being stolen about a week ago. I talked to someone today who was working this case, and I said, what do I tell my listeners about this case? This is a horrific case. She puts her boy in the backseat of the car. She goes back to the babysitter's door to get his belongings. 2 thugs, aided and abetted by the judges in Franklin County who won't punish car theft as a serious crime. 2 thugs get in the car, try to steal it. She runs out to try to save her son. They hit her. They kill her. And now her son, she's a single mom, also worked at Roosters on Henderson Road. She's a single mom, and she's unfortunately gone. And so you have a chance on Monday night, Loose Rail Brewing Company, Canal Winchester. Let me read you a quote about Alexis Stakely, who had a master's degree, who taught speech pathology in the Canal Winchester schools. Here's a quote from her brother about the little boy. He's not going to have his sidekick anymore. They were like 2 peas in a pod. They went everywhere together. They did everything together, and they were the best of friends. There's a community vigil tonight, Winchester Trail Elementary School, 7 o'clock for Alexis Stakely.
Legal professionals standing by.
All right.
To answer your questions.
Good to be back on Twitter. Glad to have the audience back. Sorry I had to subscribe to Twitter Premium, and Elon didn't say that until I went to go live the other day, but we got that all straightened out, and I appreciate you guys being back today and watching. So I guess my other Twitter site, the Bruce Hooley Show podcast site, I'm not going to become a Twitter Premium member on there because, you know, why pay twice? I guess you can only have one account as Twitter Premium. So the show will probably not stream there anymore. But appreciate you guys watching, coming back. Sorry for being missing the first 2 days of the week. And we'll talk to you again soon. You can catch the second half of the show, by the way, on the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page and the 989 The Answer Facebook page. All right. Have a good one.